Thank you, Amanda. So again, we're going to talk about war room information on the showroom floor today in the webinar. As I mentioned, we try to touch on a different tool at each of the different webinars. And again, feel free, this is meant to be interactive, so feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Again, with this, we've joined now the folks that are on the tools as well as folks that are possibly interested in learning more about the program into this webinar. So there are people on the call today that are using the tools, and as well as folks that are maybe interested. So here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so again, we'll try to educate on how you can make the war room information really available and visible on your showroom floor with Tools2BFirst. So we'll kind of go into the detail here on the price tags. Okay, so this is kind of I guess coming back a little bit away from price tags, but this is what we're calling our digital warboard. This is actually part of the sales analysis tool that is also part of the Tools2BFirst set of tools. And here, basically, it's very large spreadsheets that we basically dissect and look at all of your family information, understanding what your best sellers are, using the metric of 120-day margin dollars as far as a key metric based on return to your business. So in this view, we can look at special orders, non-special orders, understanding what color, fabric, frame is selling, what's not, how many you're selling on a per month basis over a 4-month period, how many you're selling on a per month basis over 12 months. Shows you how many you have on the floor at that time, how many you have in the warehouse, and if you have anything on order. So obviously this is real great information to have. But there's some limitations with this. It doesn't show you how the merchandise is shown on the floor, where it's positioned in the store, maybe what occasional group is displayed with it, and then as well as what accessories are displayed with it. So again, having the digital warboard is great information, but again, being able to put the war room information on the showroom floor would give you obviously additional information that you could use. So again, the idea is with the war room information at your fingertips on the showroom floor, and really the idea is the sales specialists, associates, whatever you call them in your respective stores, basically they can check to see if the item is nailed or available. And the price tag example on the right side here, you can see in the lower right area, the N and S. Basically, the N signifies to whoever's looking at the tag that this item is nailed. And you can see the kind of, as far as the nailed criteria, what we have there. Typically, we want to nail anything less than 120 days old. So basically, so we have enough time to establish history on that particular piece of merchandise. And then from another standpoint on nail, we can also nail your top 10, 20% of each of families. So for example, I want to nail the top 20% of my motion families, the top 30% of my bedroom families. Again, we basically work with each individual company and client on establishing the nail criteria on what that is. And basically, it's calculated. Basically, it's recalculated every night. We do basically a nightly download. Okay. So we have the N, which is the nail criteria, and then the S means it's in stock. Basically, the merchandise was in stock in the warehouse at the time that the tag was printed. And then in our specific case, and there's many companies and clients that also do this, they're running promotions every 3 or 4 weeks. So basically, that's how often we retag the store. So again, it's fairly accurate, even though the tags are only printed once every 3 weeks. It's still pretty accurate and indicative of what merchandise you have on the floor and what you have in the warehouse. So again, the idea that the sales specialist can easily take a look at this. This particular dresser, in this case, it's a nailed item, so I shouldn't sell it off the floor. But we have stock in the warehouse, again, at the time that the tag was printed. That's one piece of actually having the war room information there on the floor. And then there's a lot of additional information on the back side of the tag. So kind of the box on the right here of this slide is going to give you all the details on this particular item. So we look at number of pieces in the warehouse. We look at number of pieces on each floor. We look at whether the item is nailed, available, damaged, reserved. We look at how many have sold from each store, if you have multiple stores, in the last 30, 60, 90 days, etc., all the way up to a full year. And we can also do basically an encoded margin percent. So you can easily flip the tag over and see what the margin is on that particular item. And really the purpose in putting the margin in there is that if, for example, your sales manager or general manager walk in the floor and they have an opportunity to sell that item, but maybe at a lower margin, they understand what the current margin is, and they can maybe move it down from a discount standpoint, but maybe still stay above a certain target from an overall margin standpoint. So again, the idea is, as a result, anyone can walk the floor and immediately know the sales rate, stock levels, margin percent by just simply looking at the back of the tag. And again, this is often the case where maybe you're walking the floor and you question yourself, well, I wonder how this item is selling, or how well is it doing. And so clearly you can look at the basically in this case flip the tag over and clearly see how many you sold in the last 30, 60 days, 90 days, etc. So kind of walk through the table on the right there. The first column there is a building. So again, this may be someone that has multiple stores. So building 1, 2, and 4. 303 typically returns. 601 is another building, and then 900, 999 is typically the warehouse. So in this case, the second column over is nailed. So it shows you basically how many nailed you have in each location of this specific item. So in this case, in building 1, you have 1 nailed. Available is the third column there. In building 1, you have 0 available. Next one over is damaged. You have 0 damaged, and then 0 reserved in buildings 1, 2, and 4. Okay, but you can see you have 6 in building 900 that are reserved, and you have 20 in building 900 that are available. Okay, and then the going to the kind of in the middle there, that second D. Basically notes how many days that specific item has been on the showroom floor. Okay, so in this case, building 1 has been on the floor for 322 days, almost 1 year. Building 2, it's been on the floor for 748 days, so over about roughly 2 years time period. So again, you can quickly see how long it's been on the showroom floor. What's the status item? Is it nailed, available, damaged, or reserved? And then the table on the far right there shows you the. Let me try to close this. The table on the far right shows you what your sales velocity is. Basically, how many turns of this specific item you've had in the last 30, 60, 90 days. So that first row there, you see the 3, 6, 9, 12. Basically, you add a 0 to that, and we do that basically so it's more difficult for someone coming in your store to flip the tag over and decode what all that means. So basically, we just take off the last 0. So in this case, this item in building 1, you sold 3 in the last 30 days, and then you sold a total of 7 in the last 60 days, total 8 in 90 days, and so on. So basically, it's a cumulative. So you can see over the last 360 days in building number 1, you sold 31 items of that specific merchandise. Okay. And then you can also put in encoded margin percent, where like the letter E stands for a certain number, letter A stands for a certain number, or you could actually put the margin there and put 2 random digits on the front and back of that, so it's more difficult to decode what the actual margin is. So I'll pause there. Any questions so far about the price tags? Okay. The other important piece of information with that the price tags allow you to do with your store and showroom is basically the sales specialists, they have all of the information there. They don't need to go to a computer to look it up on the system. Basically, they can stay with the customer the entire time. They don't have to leave the customer. So that's another benefit of having the war room information there at your fingertips on the showroom floor. All right, so kind of continuing the theme with the price tags, along with the war room information, just talking about just the general principle of the price tags we have with Tools2BFirst. Basically, we can do printed tags. Obviously, handwritten tags in some cases may have the perception that the prices are negotiable if you handwrite what the price is. So again, it may be perception to the end customer that the prices are negotiable. Promotion information, again, like I said, we change out price tags change out promotions every 3 or 4 weeks. So when we do that, we change out price tags. And I guess a couple reasons for doing that. One is that it's difficult for the sales specialist to keep track of what the price is on each specific item. So we basically give the showroom a refresh look each time we do a different promotion. The third bullet there on as far as the color of the prices, typically we use red for the prices on the tags. So basically, it sends a message that that item's on sale, and that the customer is getting a great price and a great deal. So it's another perception thing, like kind of doing the printed tags versus handwritten tags. And then the fourth one is sometimes easily overlooked, but again, a great opportunity to grow margins. Just simply adding 99 cents to every item, and basically putting that obviously on the price tag. So again, depending on the size of your store and how many pieces of merchandise that you have, simply adding 99 cents to every item can add 20,000 to 15 to 20,000 to your sales each year. Again, depending on the number of items in your store. So again, a simple change, but a pretty big impact to the top line.
Hey Brian, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry, it's kind of backtracking, but it got me thinking when I was reading about the promotion information here. What you mentioned with being able to nail the top percentages of categories of a family, I think.
Yes. Well, yes. So I want to nail the top 5 motion families, top 10 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
That does that interact with Profit? So would it nail the items into the Profit software using your software? How do they interact?
So we can, I guess, a couple options there. If you already have something nailed in Profit, we can basically follow that those items that you have already nailed. The other option is that we can do it independent of Profit. So basically, we look at the criteria of the 120-day margin dollar return based on the sales analysis tool. So we can sort, the families with the top 120-day margin dollar return and base it off of that. And so basically, it's a calculation we do every night. So that is done independent of what you have in Profit.
So in order for the two systems to match, if something isn't nailed, we would have to go into Profit and nail it, or your system would go in to Profit and nail it?
Our system would not go into Profit. We would just automatically nail it in our tag software, basically.
Okay. All right. That's what I was wondering.
Good question.
Okay, if there was a need to override that, what would be the process?
So use the tools to override the Profit nail criteria?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we could actually...
Not the Profit, because we know how to do that, but the tagging system. Well, I guess we wouldn't need to, would we?
No, you wouldn't need to override it in that case.
Okay, all right.
And then, Brian, do you know, like, for the sales system within the store, because you've been using this tagging system for a while,
Mhm.
is it, I know you said every 3 weeks or so you'll change the tags.
So I just dialed
Mhm.
in, but
Is
yeah.
the nailed and
That's
in
fine.
stock, do you ever run into the issue where it's not in stock anymore after it's been printed a couple weeks ago? And do you give that information right away to the client and tell them how to read the tag themselves, or how are you going about integrating that on the floor?
So yeah, as far as, I mean, we try to educate obviously all the sales specialists on what the tags mean, the N and S obviously. In some cases you could obviously come across an instance where the tag says it's in stock. There's an S in the lower right, but you go check in the system and you don't have any in stock in the warehouse. So that's why it's kind of a final check that sales specialists would have to do to see if that since the item is, since the tag is printed, roughly every 3 weeks, that you could run into a case where the item is not in stock. So we allow our specialists and tell the specialists that they need to go do a final check to see if that item's in stock or not.
Okay. So it's mainly an internal process. You don't really show the client how to read that portion of the tag for themselves, or?
When you say client, are you talking about end customer or that comes into the store to buy merchandise, or Tools2BFirst client?
Nope, the customer buying this dresser.
Oh, okay. No, we don't. As far as a process standpoint, that's something we don't point out or highlight to customers on what everything means on the price tag, like the N and S. That's really just for internal purposes. Yep.
Okay.
Just for the store purposes. Yep. Okay. And then again, kind of continue on as far as trying to grow margins with the use of the price tags with Tools2BFirst. Again, having the product margin information on the tag, again, like I said earlier, allows visibility to sales managers and store managers on the actual margin percent on that product. Again, to understandability and if there's any room to move down from a discount standpoint, but still maintain a target margin percentage. Financing promotions. Again, this is just kind of a different way as far as specific promotion around financing. Again, I think this is, go back here, previous. So this is kind of a financing example where you have, you're actually stating what the price per month is. In this case, up to 36 months interest-free financing at $24 per month. So what we find is the folks that are coming in that are on a budget, they are very interested in understanding what that price per month is. So that's why we put that on some of the different financing promotions we do. And obviously, we see it, typically with several clients, you tend to grow your average sale the more financing that you do as far as people coming in and financing. Some cases we see a 2 to 3x higher average sale when folks pay with financing versus cash or credit card. And then again, nailed criteria. Again, just talked about this, but having the ability to nail the top selling items and families really can help assist in growing margins. So again, you don't want to sell your top items off the floor. Since again, we do basically with the tools we can do an auto calculation, understand what your top selling families are based on that 120-day margin dollar metric in returns. I have it here. The other thing, it didn't show up on the other tag there, but in this example, on the far right here, under that BO percent, which is the encoded margin percent, we also have a family category ranking. So basically, we look at all families, and basically we do a ranking. So based on that, 120-day margin dollar return, what this says is that in this case, this dresser is part of a best-selling family in the bedroom category. So again, another piece of, I guess, basically wardrobe information that you have on the back of the tag. That can tell you what the family category ranking is.
Brian, I have a question. When you're saying nailed and you're determining what items are nailed, it's just a designation on the price tag. It's not nailed in the profit system.
So I guess we have with the tools, we have the capability to do the calculation, and we can nail it in the tags based on the actual nail criteria that you give us. Like the top 20%, like I said, motion families, top 50% bedroom or whatever. So we would do that. That's independent of the items in profit.
Right.
But we can do, again, we're flexible. We can do that way, or we could, if you mark the items in profit, we can also go based the nail criteria for the price tags on what you have in profit as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can do both.
Hey, Brian, for the financing on the tag,
yes.
Could you elaborate on what abilities we have to choose? Like, is it an all or nothing when we print the tags? Like, if we choose to have the financing offer on there, does every single price tag then have it? Is there a threshold where we could say items valued at $800 get 12 months financing, anything less than $800 is 6, anything $1,600 or more is, 18 months. Like, are there price value and month demarcations? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we could do that. I'd have to look at it closer, Morgan. The other thing that you, I think around that same question or similar is on the back of the tag you could have. So in this example, I'm showing $17 per month at 48 months. At say 36 months, it's something different, or at 60 months, we could actually put that information on the back of the tag. And basically, with the profit point of sale system, in that I think there's 11 remark fields. Basically, if there's information in any of those fields, we could basically pull that into and put that. Basically print that on the back of the tag. But typically, when you go, basically scan the items with that barcode in the bottom there in the middle off the tag, and when you go to print, you'll print the tags based on how you scan the items on the showroom floor. So if you want to, but going back to your question, Morgan, I think we can do that. We just have to take a closer look if you want to, based on certain finance terms based on the price in profit.
Okay. Only because we use minimums for financing, so I'm just trying to conceptualize how we wouldn't mislead the customer to think that they could finance this $800 item for 60. With our system, they couldn't finance it for 48 months unless they met a minimum total sale amount. Do you also use minimums?
Yeah, we do. I guess the other thing is we could actually put, that type of language on the front of the tag. I mean, this is fully customizable. Yeah, we can put whatever you want on the front of the tag to educate the customer. So it could be like $7.99 0
APR for 48 months with a minimum total purchase of X dollars.
Yes, we can do that. Yep, we can have that printed on the front of the tag.
Okay.
Yep. And so that kind of continue the theme with the price tags again. With the Tools2BFirst, we actually, this is part of the whole Tools2BFirst package. We also offer it's essentially design services where we basically help design the tags for you. At least for the first couple promotions until you get used to it, and then basically hand off basically the design. So essentially, you provide us your logo or graphics or whatever promotion you're running. We upload that into our price tag software. Basically, you tell us what you want to use for the white pay price, If you want to do a financing, we can do that. Whatever language you want on the front of the tag, what your nail criteria is, basically what you want to have on the back of the tag. You want to have just remark fields 1 and 2 shown. Do you want to have margin percent? Because the point is, it's fully customizable on what you want to show and not show on the price tags, both the front and the back of the tag.
How are you doing this for packages, like table, top, and base, multiple part bunk beds, multiple piece sectionals, like being able to scan? Is there numerous barcodes?
Yes, I think there in that case there are multiple barcodes. I'm not that familiar on how we're doing packages in the system, but I do know that we can support package pricing with the tools.
Because the barcoding and the scanning with packages is one of the most difficult parts on the floor with the physical inventory. If we're going to scan regularly to re-tag things like sectionals and things like that, the way that we're barcoded now, there's only one barcode for the package SKU, and it's not scannable unless the barcode that you're using is different than the profit barcode.
No, it should be the same. The barcode should be the same that you're using the profit.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if there were like 4 barcodes for a 4-piece sectional then, because I don't see how we would be able to scan it otherwise.
Okay, let me get back to you, Morgan, on that, on the package pricing.
Thanks.
Brian, what's
Yes.
the most typical physical size of the price tag that most people are using?
Yeah, good question, Art. So in our stores here at Furniture Mall, Kansas, we're using basically an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and we fold it in half. And so the idea is that, and I don't think I have any either. It's a little hard to see there, but that's actually a 8.5 by 11 folded in half. So all the information on the front is there, and the back of the tag has basically your war room information. So as far as working with other clients on the tools and implementing price tags, most of them are use different size, but I would say 90% of the folks we've worked with so far have converted. That as far as that we're using maybe a different size, they've converted to this size tag. Basically, 8.5 by 11 folded in half.
Folded in half.
So it makes it easy. You can print, standard sheet of paper, and print it out and fold it in half. And we actually even found a auto folder that some people are using. You can, like $200, we can actually fold up to 50 sheets of paper at a time.
Okay.
Again, this is just for we're just talking about furniture tags. We don't do special tags for mattresses. We just rely on the manufacturer's tags there. And then, of course, accessory tags are much different. But again, in this case, we're not re-tagging all the accessory items. It's a different process for accessory tags.
Brian, what about markdown tags?
Yeah, I don't have it in this overview or presentation, Morgan, but we do have, with the tools, we can do basically an auto markdown process. Specifically in profit, there's a remark for field. Basically, you enter the date, basically a start date, and basically each time the tag is printed, say for example 30 days from now, the tag will print and it'll automatically mark it down whatever you choose, whether it's 10% or 20%. And again, you come back 30 days later, it'll mark it down another 10%. So it's kind of what we call our auto markdown process for clearance tags. So
is there a way to tag or to pull the items that, if we're using the current profit markdown program, like the auto markdown program in profit, and there's a sale price generated in the pieces? Is there a way to print tags from the sale prices?
I'm not sure, Morgan, on that. I just know that we can, basically the tools has with the auto markdown, you don't have to use the markdown in profit. We can just base it on basically the start date and whatever your starting price is.
Okay.
Just a couple other items on the price tag. Again, the price matches the current event pricing. With the barcodes, basically we use small handheld scanners to scan the items on the floor. It makes it a pretty efficient process. The idea is once you have these implemented in your store, you basically start in one corner, scan the barcodes, load the scanner. It's basically a USB scanner. You plug that into the computer, and it prints all the tags in the order that you scan them on the floor. So it makes it very simple to go back and re-tag the entire floor. But that's pretty much what I had today as far as kind of going over, again, the idea of having war room information available to you on your showroom floor with the use of price tags with Tools2BFirst. Any other questions?
I may have missed this in the beginning. Does this interface with Myriad? You keep mentioning profit.
Yeah.
It does.
Yes. Yeah. So we,
okay.
We're currently supporting from a point of sale system. We're currently supporting Profit, FernServe, and Myriad. So we have a few clients on Myriad, but yes, this is compatible with Myriad.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so just kind of snapshot on where we're at, roughly as far as clients, 60 storefronts across 22 states. And just a couple other comments as far as maybe folks that are not on the tools yet. Just to keep in mind, the $3,500 setup fee is being waived for the first 50 Furniture First members that sign up. And there is a contract that you sign, but it's not a long-term contract. You're not locked in. Basically, you pay as you go. So if you get 2 or 3 months down the road after using the tools and you really don't see the value based on the investment level, then you can quit at any time. And then obviously we'll continue to make improvements with the tools, and we'll add new tools as time goes along as well. So that's all I had. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you for the questions, and thank you for attending, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.